Hello， 大家好，我是 Miss Yan，I'm Miss Yan。今天我们来讲汉字概说。Today we will talk about the Chinese character. Before we talk about it, think about it. Is Chinese a hard language in your opinion? I collect several reasons that people may think Chinese is super hard. First, it's not 26 letters anymore. It's thousands of Chinese characters, which look differently. And the second reason is there are 4 tones in Chinese language speaking and actually influence the meaning. That means if you change the tones, people cannot understand you. You are saying a total another word. Third one, spoken language and written language are used different words. Like if you write some words, this might not usually happens or used in your spoken language. Many different accents influence listening comprehension. After you come to Wuhan specifically, you will realize that some people, they are speaking Mandarin, but because of their local accent, like Wuhanese or like even a different part of Hubei province, it influenced their Mandarin. Sometimes it will cause trouble for you to understand. And some words contain different meanings in different circumstances. That's because sometimes we want to use the words to convey some deeper meaning. And now, how do you analyze and write different Chinese characters? That's really normal, because if you just learn some character directly, you will think like, oh my goodness, it's like a drawing, and every picture looks different. But later I will tell you some hints of learning it. That's why this Chinese character introduction exists. So first we'll talk about 什么是汉字? What is Chinese character? So the Chinese characters, just like the things I show you, this is the old invention that we are used for print the character on the paper to make book. It's really famous. It's in ancient China. And as you can see, Chinese character just like brisk. When you put it together to make a whole sentence, it can be the foundation of a building of language. That is how Chinese characters used. You may think about some question, but I have 2 essential questions for you to think about. How do they do it? And why they do it? How do they use those characters? Why they choose those things to be characters? How does those characters develop? And why they are using it? Before we answer those questions, I want to show you the way that Chinese people are making the characters. There are 6 ways. 6. This is the Chinese hand gesture of saying 6. 6种 6 ways of creating a Chinese character, which is 象形 pictogram, 指示 refer to, 会意 knowing, 形声 phonetic, 转注 borrow, 假借 fake. So we are using that kind of 6 ways to make words. And we will focus on 4 fundamental ways. 4个 象形 指示会意和形声 on the right side. And the other 2, right now we are not using it to create any new words. This is using in the Asian China when there are not that many words to use. We use the other 2, 转注 and 假借. So, of course, we will learn those ways, right? But first, I want to show you some picture of a language history. When you check Egypt or some other like Asia, Minor, when you check their language, you will realize that all the language sometimes come from pictures. They want to mark it or use some special mark to record something. Like Egypt, they have specific drawing, and some of them are using the sign, maybe simplified picture. The same with Chinese. This way, we call it pictogram. 象形 so those 2 characters. 象形 is record the object by drawing, and after changing, it becomes a simplified single character. So 象形 is like facing upon the specific objects, animals, or like sun, the moon, something exists. And then you draw it, make it a whole body. And then after time goes by, people make it more easy to draw. And then finally, they decide it as a character. When you look at the left picture, you can see a horse. And if you look at right, you can see some characters. There are 4 different characters. Can you pick which one is the hardest one to draw or to write? Which one is the most simple one, the simplest one? It's easy, right? This one is like more like a drawing, like the horse on the left. So this is the pictogram when it just created from the picture. And as time passed by, centuries after centuries, it become like this and this, more simplified. And then right now, we make it like this, 马, horse. So it still contains some elements of the drawing, but it looks different right now. So this is how we create those kind of words. The same, we are using the picture of the Asian China door to tell you the character door, 门. So a long time ago, it looks like this, the pictogram. It's first copied by the picture. And then after time goes by, it changed. Right now, it looks like this, the simplified word. And as you can see, it's still conveying the outline of the door. So it still makes sense. It still looks like maybe a little bit. Those kind of characters called 象形. And make sure it's the single character. You can't take it apart. If you take it apart, it becomes the sticks. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So it needs to be the whole body. So the same, we still have some others, like this one, 顶. So this kind of tool, we are using it as the power, like it refers to the power. Just like the king has the crown, we're using this in Asian China to mark somebody's power. If you own it, that means you are the top of the country. So it's really important. So people want to draw it and write it down, right? First, it looks like exactly like it. And then it change. Right now, it looks like this over here on the left part. You still have the legs. You still have the head in the middle. It still look like, right? 顶. And then long time ago, we are using some wood to make a car. Like this with wheels and draw it like that. After time, this pictogram changed all the way until the left one. 车. Right now, the simplified way might look different from the picture because we are using a simple way to record it. But the roots is deep in the Asian way, pictogram. And then we have more, like this. The fish. As you can see, the fish, 鱼, people first draw it, and then after it change, become like this simplified way. But you still can tell, is this one in the middle looks like a fish body, and this one maybe look like a tail, this one look like a head. So the shape is still there, and it's a whole body, it's a single character. And the right part, we have the goat. The goat has a special horn, and we draw it, and then after time it changed, become this, 羊, goat. Okay, so these are some examples of pictograms. And I have more, like the left one, 瓜. It's like the melon, especially like watermelon or some other melons in China. It looks like this, and then we draw it, and then you change it. Still, like 山, 水, 火, 土. Did you notice that? No matter it's mountain, water, fire, or dirt, they are the basic elements, which is easy to find long time ago too. So pictogram is a special way for our old ancestor to make character based on the things they can see, to copy, draw it, and then later change it. Okay, so that's the pictogram. And I have the other different ways of creating characters, which is referred to 指示. Here, 指示 is using symbol like dot or line to refer to the abstract things. So before we are talking about pictogram is actually recording something specific, the objects. But if you want to talk about something that is hard to describe, It's abstract. What do? We're using symbols. So like this picture, somebody's holding two sticks and you want to refer to the top one, something above it. Then they're using the short line to refer to it. And after time it changes and it becomes like this. 上, which means top or up, refers to the up one. So refer to, 指示, this creating way is more like using your pointing finger, point to the specific part it asks you to do, and then it tells you, yes, this is the part I want to emphasize. So if you look at this picture, 刃, 刃. How do you think? Do you think it's talk about knife? But knife is a specific object. Why are you not using pictogram? So actually, if you want to talk about knife, that is a pictogram. People can draw it and later change it. But this 指示 ways of creating character, it refers to the specific thing with the pointing finger pointing at a sharp place. How do we point at it? We use the dots there to tell. I'm emphasizing, I'm pointing at it. So actually this character, 刃, it means the knife's sharp part, the sharp parts of the knife. Okay, so this is how you draw in before and after time goes by. It looks like this at the end. So the same way we can see this picture, the short line goes on the bottom, not on the top anymore. And after it changes, it becomes like this. So the same way, can you infer what does this character means? Which part is referred to? Okay, answers come. This refers to the things on the bottom. 下 means down, bottom, go down, like that. So this is how we create the words using symbols. And I have more examples, like this. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, both using that. How we count the things, we can use the mark, the dots or lines to refer to it. So 3, which means 3. 3 is using 3 lines, 3 subjects together to tell you that's 3. And then this might be a little bit complicated, this one, this character. So first, tree is a specific object. Long time ago, people are using the pictogram way of writing it. And then, this is the pictogram way. You can see it exactly look like a tree. But did you see the little dots on the top? That little dots is like the finger pointing at there. Pointing at there. So this character become to use the refer to, 指示, to create it, which is pointing at the top of the trees. So this kind of character, after it changes, you will talk about the things that is at the end, the ending, like the stick's end, something's end, that it contain that meaning. Okay, so now I show you the examples of both pictogram and refer to. And we will have more to come in the future. Thank you for listening. And practice is, please finish the sheets, the paper sheets I gave you. On the left side, I put some pictogram and refer to characters. And then it has a simplified way. And the third line, please write it down. Do you think it's refer to? Then you put RT. If you think it's pictogram, then you put P, based on the middle line, the simplified character. Okay? And please finish it and submit it on Canvas. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening. See you next time. 再见.